who has a track record of defeating a popular incumbent Republican in this race. And I would love to have the opportunity to compare my voting record at the State House, good Democratic principles, against Scott Brown's, my list of accomplishments and achievements against Scott Brown's. And next to me, he will come across as nothing more than an empty suit with an empty list.
We know that what's important is we have to deliver jobs for people. It's a national crisis. We have to provide high-quality public education. We have to take on the issue of poverty of 46 million Americans. And we need a new call to service to engage all of us in our political process.
Is this primary race over, or has it just begun?
You asked the question, I think, around Scott Brown, and all I could think about is that Forbes magazine named Scott Brown Wall Street's favorite senator. And I was thinking, that's probably not an award I'm going to get.
The use of marijuana should be legalized.
Can I get that question first?
Alan just worked out there.
By the way, I did inhale and I did enjoy it.
So it's no surprise that this first question from our participating social media is on this question. One, do you support President Obama's jobs bill? And more specifically, what would you do to create jobs? And that's a one-minute answer.
There are two parts to this. The first thing is, yes, I do support President Obama's bill, the $80 billion for direct investment and the $35 billion to restore teachers and emergency workers. I'm glad we're doing that. It doesn't really go far enough, but I'm glad we're doing it.
Also in favor, as I mentioned earlier, of reducing long-term capital gains on initial public offerings. And in addition to that, I have a proposal that I call bottom line regulation. The idea there is that we have a tax bracket for people who make over $1 million, and we vary their tax rate based on how well the economy is doing. So if the unemployment rate, say, is more than 6.5%, their tax rate goes up. If it's less than 4.5%, their tax rate actually goes down, so they get a bonus. Now, aside from motivating people to do the right thing when they control the economy, the other thing that gives us is a little extra money for stimulus spending in rough times.
The President's jobs bill, in fact, I would go further. I think we need to be putting people to work right now. When we've got work that can be done on roads and bridges, we need to be putting our construction workers to work. People should not be on unemployment. We should be putting them to work. But I think we need a longer-term answer, too. And I just want to talk about another part. I agree with Bob about the point about long-term investment. But I think there's also a point about the role of regulation for small businesses, for innovators, for entrepreneurs. We have developed a system of very complicated regulations in Washington. And that works against those job creators, which is what these small businesses are. I looked at the Consumer Financial Protection Agency to take a stack of mortgage documents and turn it into a one-page mortgage disclosure sheet. Better for consumers, but more to the point, good for small businesses, for the small banks and credit unions that now more cheaply could fill out those forms. So what I believe in is that we have to trim our regulations down. We've got to make them clearer and smaller so everyone has a chance to be able to prosper.
Why am I in this race? I am in this race for exactly the same reason as when I jumped in 6 months ago. And that is to fight for the people against the powerful. When I see that something needs to be done, like real representation of the people, I jump in and get to work. And I have the track record of doing and winning to prove it. No poll testing the waters, no fancy high-priced consultants. Because when you have a vision and a passion for advocacy for the people, you don't test, you just do.